Yeah. So for the workshops that don't have Smart Inspector, that are, say, dipping their toe into this technology and going in this direction, what are maybe some of the tips you can offer them?
So I'd say start taking photos of parts. Even though it's a manual process, take photos of the parts that you replaced or even the work that you're going to do, because it just helps build that proof, and you'll see some of the conversion benefit from showing a customer, this is the part that I've replaced and here's the new part on the car.
Before and after.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other one you can do is before and after the vehicles come in as well. So take photos of the whole car, walk around for damage, and so that way you've got proof of this is how the car got handed over to me, and then also proof of how we handed the car back, because then that way, and you scratch and you ding, again, customer comes back a week later and says that wasn't there, it must have been your fault. You've got proof to help rebuild that customer trust, because it might be genuine that they think that happened while it was in your shop, and you get to show them, no, this is us handing the car back and it was perfect.
And if they're not using, the program yet, this starts to get them into the mindset of what they have to do.
Correct. It's building the process of just what some of the image capturing does, and then gives them a sense of value of what doing this properly can do.
Yeah.
The system later then just becomes a streamlined way of doing it. It becomes easier. And the final piece would be, do a report on every vehicle, even the cars that come in just for brakes. Go through and do a full inspection report. Note how many things you notice and you see come up that, well, we need to talk to the customer about that. How many opportunities are there that, hey, we noticed this was a bit off. It wasn't what you asked us for, but again, customer care, looking after the car. Yeah, and you get to track some of those as well. Even though it's not something that they've come in for that time, you can track that and then call them back in 3 months. Hey, we noticed when you came in for that oil change or you came in for the tires that your brakes were looking a little bit low. How are they doing? Do you want to bring it back in so we can have another check? It looked like they had another 6 months, and that follow-up piece as well. So it's actively re-engaging with that customer and bringing them back on those other opportunities without you having to push. You're not trying to sell, you're just trying to look after and encourage.
It's that middle step to Smart Inspector, isn't it?
It is, just getting those processes in place and then seeing the value of connecting with the customer that way. And then once you've seen that, you can load on Smart Inspector and start using it, and it just streamlines and makes it a lot easier.
You only need the one photograph where the technician and the service advisor look at each other after the customer's left and said, thank God we took that photo because that scratch was there. And the amount of time someone said, oh, my car's been scratched since it came into service. If you have that proof-based, sure, for selling, but also for protection, it really sort of empowers you to use the digital process, doesn't it?
Oh, and my favorite example is batteries. You do a battery test every time the car comes in. Take a photo of the record of the battery test, just a picture of the screen that says the battery is good. The next time the customer leaves the lights on by mistake, they don't notice, they come out and try and start the car. I had my car in there last week and now my battery's flat. Why didn't you guys tell me this? I missed out on work, or I was late to...
There's a photo.
We did, it was cool, not a problem, bring the car back and we can chuck in a new battery. And that's a really hard negative to turn into a positive. We'll fit a new battery and it's going to cost you, because batteries aren't cheap. And it's really damaging if you don't have that proof and that kind of information to show we are looking after our cars the best that we can. Light bulbs, tail light bulbs, just like house light bulbs, they blow. It doesn't happen specifically. And so you could drive out of the workshop that afternoon and the next morning your headlight's not working. It's not because the workshop didn't do what they did, but that's the perception that a customer can have. And that's why doing these things, capturing this information and sharing it with the customer as well, because it's much better to show them a picture. Here's all your headlights working, here's all your tail light working, here's your battery check. We've done all this lookup. When it happens in a week, they've already got it in their head. They know that it was fine last week, it's not now. I better take it back to those guys, and instead of it's their fault.